Okay, next page. We are still in the learning to read process. Go ahead and turn to that now if you would. And what we're going to discuss in relation to this little learning to read process are these things called onsets and rhymes that we're going to put in first grade. Now, onsets for our purposes will always be consonants, and rhymes are going to be the word families that I'm going to present. Now there's a particular progression that I'm going to introduce that shows you how you go from very simple onsets to more complicated consonant combinations in onset position. For example, we will learn about blends and we will learn about diagraphs. Well, let's go ahead and start with some simple word family and simple onsets, and we'll look at the at family for this purpose. Now, the activity that I'm going to use for all of these examples will be called making words, and I'll abbreviate that as make words. The way that we're going to make these very early words in each of these lists is like this. Think of an index card with the letter C on it, with the letter M on it, and let's put the letter S on it if we could. We will introduce a word family, a rhyme, at, and teach the child how to make cat, mat, and sat. This is the onset position. Notice that it always has to be occupied by a consonant, C, M, and S. This is the rhyme position. It is made up of a vowel and a consonant combination. So when we make words then, we simply pair simple onsets like the letter C, M, and S. We do our letter sound correspondence, ka, m, s, in order to do cat, mat, and sat. And the child will learn to decode very simple C, V, C words, consonant, vowel, consonant words. As proficiency develops and the child becomes more and more fluent on perhaps lists of these words and maybe even other word families like an to make can and man, we can then move to more complicated onsets. Now, the complicated onset that I want to introduce first is the blend pattern. So let me write in the word blend, and I think you should do the same thing. And let's circle the BL in blend. That is a blend combination because you can hear the B sound and the ul sound in the onset position of that word. Even in the rhyme position right here, and, you also hear the d sound, meaning that it is a blend pattern. So all of the words in this list, in the onset position in particular, all contain blend patterns. Let's look at these words. Let's look at block, truck, stop, street, and drop. Well, once again, in the word block, you can hear the b, ul sound, and that is an onset position. That's the position before the rhyme. You can hear the t, sounds, two sounds in the onset position of truck. And let's just do one more. You can hear the s, t, stop in the onset position of the word stop. So the onset position happens to be occupied by a blend pattern. Please understand that the onset doesn't always have to be a blend, or that blends do not always have to appear in the onset position. That's illustrated by "nd" right here. I don't know of any word in the English language that ends with this blend pattern here, BL, so maybe BL always has to be in the onset position. But other blend patterns can appear in rhyme position like ND, and maybe even ST, as in the word best, for example. ST could also appear in the rhyme position. Okay, well, that was a bit of a digression, so let's get back to reality. We now have diagraphs to contend with. Diagraphs simply mean, for our purposes, two letters. Now, I want you to look at the word diagraph. Go ahead and circle that PH in diagraph if you would, because diagraph will produce one single sound. Diagraph, diagraph. So it's only giving you one sound, because you don't say diagraph, obviously. So let's look at the onset position of shock, where you have an SH producing one sh sound, for example. Fat, a nonsense word, that PH is producing one f sound. And that, which is producing one single sound, and I'll transcribe it this way, that, and that's how you transcribe it. And what? What is producing just a simple w sound. So Notice that these are not blends in onset position because we don't say sahak or pahat or tahat or wahat. Notice too that in the word shock, that CK in rhyme position, that CK in rhyme position is also a digraph because you don't say shock, for example. It's just one single sound, shock. So position isn't going to dictate that it has to be a blend or a digraph or something like that. You have to look at the letter combination. So in that digraph column, all of the onsets, all of the onset positions of those words are occupied by digraphs. Sh, f, and what. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you. And go ahead and look at your model. I won't put it on the screen, but look at how we got here. In kindergarten, if you're looking at your model, we started with the foundations. We did concepts about print and phonemic awareness. We exited with the ability to do letter naming and with segmenting. We united those two things in beginning decoding instruction, letter-sound correspondence. After we had a child who was proficient with letter-sound correspondence, we moved into these word families. And the word families started with simple onset rhyme combinations and then moved to more complicated onset rhyme combinations with perhaps blends and digraphs in onset position and maybe also in rhyme position. When I come back, we will begin to look at some common phonics rules and learn ultimately how to make a child fluent. See you in a bit.